Good morning, good morning, good morning. How was your weekend? I hope all our videos are up, and I appreciate the advice on how to get this up quicker. I'll tell Chris. I'm kind of piled up here, so I apologize. I'm going to try to go through these kind of fast. Try to get to you, but I have this whole week here, and whatever you guys asked me over the weekend might be a little pushed off here, but there's a lot of things, so many things that I want to go over here, and I hope you enjoyed the video on that the sweet MS case. She's a real trooper, and again, thanks to her husband for the help with her. I mean, when you have a mate like that will help you, that's everything. We've seen a lot of the opposite, where the mate is antagonistic or the mate is wanting to go allopathically and their heart is the other way. I've seen mates kill their mates. We see a lot of that, where their mates just force them to go the allopathic way, and then the next thing you know, they're dead from it. Especially in the cancer cases, people walk with fear so bad that they'll pull their mates away from their heart. So we see a lot of that kind of problem, and it's kind of sad that is, but it just shows you the killing machine that is. I want to start in here and really dig in here. So forgive me if I'm kind of disoriented. I've got 3 or 4 different sets of these questions that I've got laid out here. So let me try to go through the littler pile first. And just thanks so much for your comments. You guys are great. I love you all very much. And thanks so much. You guys are a good audience and good friends and really a good community of love here, and I really appreciate it. We've had a lot of years at working at this. I think we built up great clients around the world, and in every walk of life, I've just enjoyed people so much to help them, and animals too. We had a guy detox his big boa snake. We had a nurse detoxify her hamsters. I helped medical doctors detoxify his llamas. We've had all kinds of horses, of course, plenty of dogs. Cats are more difficult because they are true carnivores, but certainly they can take the herbs. We've had some neat stuff, particularly in the dog line, a lot of cancer things and stuff. Someone did ask me this, and I wanted to mention that this thing about diseases. It said we could cure all diseases. I don't know how you cure diseases. I really don't. I don't know how you cure diseases. Certainly the allopathic community doesn't either. I mean, seriously, there's no curing of diseases because they don't exist. It's a figment of their imagination. And they've lumped this into diseases of some type of category, which is some type of ominous problem outside of reality of chemistry and physics, and I just disagree with that. I think that's been their little clique. They've certainly ruined a lot of lives with it in many ways, including practitioners. I remember there was a comment here. A lady said that she had been to a lot of naturopaths before, and gave her supplements and stuff. And I think it's just disgraceful what these naturopathic schools are turning out. I blame the naturopathic schools for this. Locking horns, or I wouldn't even say locking horns. Locking hands with the AMA as if the naturopathic people and the allopathic people are similar in their thinking. Naturopathic thinking is 100% opposite. It's 180-degree opposite that of allopathic thinking. It's kind of hard to merge something that's totally opposite than what you're thinking. It's really hard, and a lot of medical doctors, I applaud them, are becoming naturopaths. But true naturopathy shouldn't be a system of treatment. That's homeopathy, and that should stay homeopathy. Like I said, most medical doctors will do well in homeopathy, and there's a lot of good brains out there in medical communities. And put those brains into the right direction, and we've got a lot of good stuff going on there. So, I hope that becomes something that's happening here. Now, Addie's pupil, I feel you're going right into the CNS, the central nervous system here. That's when the pupil doesn't want to dilate, or it takes in light and doesn't want to dilate. This is all CNS stuff. Again, It could be optic nerve, but you know what, I'm probably deeper into the tissues there. Again, I would really head off on the lymph system. Again, this is going back to what you guys already know. All the body is a bunch of cells, 2 major fluids. And someone did ask me a question about that, about the fluid, synovial fluid or the eye fluids. You know, everything is a takeoff on these 2 fluids, in my opinion. Some degree or another, a takeoff on these 2 fluids. These 2 fluids ultimately result in the health or breakdown of a cell. And that's what's most important. Not your bulk of your fluids that deal with the synovial fluids, or like I said, the knee fluids or the ocular fluids. These are going to be more lipid-based. You know, you just think of lipids as oils or like sprays that you use, like WD-40 and stuff. This all keeps things lubricated, so you're always going to see these lipid or cholesterol-based fluids. This is a takeoff on the lymph fluids, of course, because there has to be some protection there against acidosis. At the same time, though, these fluids will dry up like any other fluid there. Thank God the blood can continue to steal chemistry and keep itself halfway hydrated until the person dies. But if you keep with the 2 fluids there and their relationship to the cells, because they flow around with the cells, and that's really key in anatomy and physiology, is understand it's all about the cell, but it's also about how do we keep a cell healthy, how do we rebuild a cell, how do we repair a cell, and of course the body will eliminate a cell if necessary. That's just its job. But the body does all this, and I think that the less intellectual we get. I remember somebody asking me a lot of questions here, and I wanted to address that. And when I get to that, I'll address that with every little question. This is the one I wanted to get to. And oh, by the way, Mr. No Crap, you're a good guy. I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're listening, man. You're a cool dude. This is really good. I think you're a dude. But anyway, yeah, you're listening. Thank you. Good. You're really good here. I appreciate all you guys. It's really sharp out there. But all of you guys are great. Now, again, with this pupil and this CNS problem, get up in there in the brain and nerve, upper circulation, pull on the lymph, because the only thing you've got is 2 fluids to deal with. So nutritively speaking, of course, when it's the brain, you're going to be high fruit diet. The nervous system, the brain, this is a high energetic system. This can't deal with low vibrational foods. Vegetables do not build nervous system. You saw this case of MS there. This is a 100% fruit diet. At least I think she's pretty close there, or she's been running there. Very essential for that. Nerve regeneration, to be high up on that fruit diet. And that's in all these cases that deal with neurological connected problems. And that's true with spinal cord injuries and everything else there. But it's interesting, it's also true with cancers and stuff. Now, we use the word cancers and we use the word diseases sometimes, but by ultimately never treat diseases, because let the allopathic continue to bury themselves in this kind of thinking. I still see these commercials, donate. We're working together, and I saw this one. Who was this? Oh yes, what's her name on American Idol? J-Lo, you know, say, we're all working together. What are you working together for? To cure cancer? No, you're working together for donations. It's like, excuse me, there's already cures for that sort of thinking. Yeah, there's no cure for cancer, again, because it's not a disease, but there is a cure for damaged cells and mutated cells, absolutely. So work with that and build that up there. I would also hit my adrenal glands. Thanks for the sweetheart for the thing on Russell. Means we'll try to contact the person. Sometimes they build these walls around them, even though they want help. They build walls around to where you can't get to them, and that's okay. And maybe because so many people try to, and that's the other discouraging thing, you know. We found that with Michael J. Fox and stuff. Someone asked me about nicotine withdrawal, skull cap. Absolutely. Lobelia is another good one. Also for withdrawal symptoms is also kutsu root. Kutsu root is superb for that. Withdrawals of nicotine, alcohol, all kinds of drugs. I do like skull cap very much, one of my favorites. But then I love lobelia. That was Dr. Christopher's, one of his favorites. Lobelia, major good herb. But too much of lobelia. I used to use that to make people throw up. because when you're a lunger and you can't breathe, it's better to get yourself to throw up, and then you'll compress the lungs and expectorate that way. So that was old Dr. Christopher's old little secret too. I haven't done that in a lot of years, but I have done it early on. It's just some of the things you do. This question was about mercury and about chlorella. I do not use the algae. I tell you the truth, I just don't. I stay away from them. I'm not into proteins and single-celled organisms and stuff. Palm scum is my classic word for it. But with that said, okay, but really your dark greens. Anybody that can't detoxify mercury and heavy metals out of the body isn't detoxifying the lymph system. It's one thing to check it in the blood. I use hair analysis, or used to a lot, but realistically, your lymph is where everybody gets dumped. So it's the lymph system that you have to detoxify, even though chelation is always after the blood. Let me tell you what's in your lymph system. So really, that lymph system is the key. So yeah, you can high parsley, high cilantro, very great for mercury and heavy metal detoxification, dark chlorophyll, real heavy dark alfalfa, things like that, absolutely. Your real dark green drinks, maybe wheatgrass, but parsley and cilantro in particular has been well known for that. But anything dark green, but really move on that lymph system with the herbs and stuff. And we have a heavy metal detoxifying herbal thing if you want. Okay, I don't want to go too fast for you, but at the same time, boy, I've got a lot. Yeah. Someone also commented on Huntington's disease there. You know what? Regeneration, and you guys are getting it. You guys are sharp. Regeneration of tissue is the in word, and it's the only word we can use for the future, because we're on this planet. We're done playing games like this. We're done treating symptoms. We're done with that ridiculous, antiquated thinking of diseases and the treatment of these things, raking people's money in, pulling at their heartstrings, and then at the same time not allowing a remedy for that individual, and oftentimes an accelerated death. You can't live there anymore. You can't live there anymore. This was a good one. Someone asked me here, 42, Lucifer Sam, whatever. Thanks, man. Yeah, this kind of people are out there all over the place. And this comment you made here about the frugivore controversy, there's no question. There's no question man has been living out of his element. Not all of man. There's plenty of islanders that's lived as frugivores, let me tell you. I told you about an 86-year-old black woman in here who had been raised exclusively a frugivore. She was 96 and looked like she was 60. Teeth, everything in place. Beautiful lady. I've had them in here in the hundreds. Rage frugivorish. The fact that man migrated and changed, this concept that you said about a gorilla having that large of a colon, never heard of that. It is true that the study has shown that Eskimos' GI tract has been shrinking because of the heavy meat consumption. It doesn't mean that they're meat eaters because they eat it and they're stuck up there and they have to. I've never had a case anywhere worldwide, Northern Alaska, Mongolia. I have people in Russia. I have people everywhere. You can't name probably a country I don't have people in one way or another. Even in China, in places where it's hard to get things to them, a little by the side routes, but there's nowhere have I not been able to regenerate tissue, rebuild the human body on fruit. And if you can rebuild it on fruit and you break it down on protein, what does that tell you? And I see this kind of crap from these people all the time like this. There's some comments here that wasn't true. Humans also have a smaller pancreas in relationship to their body size. Hello? No. Where insulin is produced by digesting sugars for digesting sugars properly. Insulin isn't used to digest anything. It's a carrier, and it's used to carry glucose. Fructose doesn't need insulin. This is why we don't have those big pancreases. Fructose doesn't need insulin to be carried through a cell wall. Compared to we have unique adaptation of producing more thyroid hormones, which prevent adrenal plaque formation from cholesterol. What in the heck did that come from? That's totally out of line. That's a statement that has no validity to it. There's nothing to do with hormones and deals with cholesterol. Cholesterol is simply the body's main antacid, and I don't care what thyroid. The thyroid doesn't produce any hormones for that. That's to affect the adrenal plaque formation. What are you talking about here? or arterial, excuse me, but still that has nothing to do with that. That's the lymphatic system, and you cannot stop that no matter how well your thyroid is pumping. It has nothing to do with it.